Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Prep Your Soul. Hope everybody's had a good, blessed weekend. Or if you weren't blessed, I hope you bless someone else. Good to see y'all in here this evening. Independent Marine, Mames Legacy, Tamara Reynolds. Good to see you guys. Prepared for Zane, good to see you. Cat Lady, good to see you. Let's see here. Joe Morgan, good to see you. Donna Southwood, Adriana Turner, True American Loretta, Flow Grown Homesteader. Good to see y'all. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Angie Morris, good to see you. Rosanna Jones, good to see you. Sherry Leach, Anna W, Carry Me Away. That Galaxy Rapper. PMP Rob, good to see you. Carol Moreland, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Says hello from Bama. Northern Girl, good to see you. John Doe, Bob William. Ruben, Five Virgins Prepper, good to see you, my friend. Chris Pyatt, good to see y'all. I think that catches me up for a minute. Cindy Farmer, good to see you. Says, hey, y'all, from Northwest Georgia. Good to have you in here. I appreciate it. B&B Home, good to see you guys. Yeah, there wasn't a Wednesday's reading of Job, Rob. I had a very, very busy week and still trying to get stuff sorted out and get everything up and going for what I'm wanting to do here. So, still a little behind. Jennifer Cruz, good to see you. Christ is the answer. Good to see you. Thank you guys for being here. Nope, you're not behind. Blue Vandal, good to see you. I believe, did we stop on chapter 5 or chapter 6? I think we stopped at chapter 5. Let's see. Anybody else sneak in here? I'll give it just about 4 or 5 more minutes. Make sure everybody makes it in that wants to be here. I haven't seen Grammy's house yet. She's usually here. And a couple other folks. Jeep Girl. I haven't seen her yet. So do we have any praise reports since last Sunday? My mind went blank on that. I should really quit trying to read the chat and talk at the same time. I've got the attention. Your connection is unstable. Please wait while we reestablish connection. Great. It might be one of those nights. Sorry, guys. It is, man, it's rained a lot here the last 2 or 3 hours. I bet you in the last probably 3 hours, we've got at least 2 inches of rain. I mean, it has poured. My garage absolutely flooded. Hey, this is a place to be, Five. I'm telling you, brother. This is a place to be. Love you too, man. Kim Starlin, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Prayer request. My friend just messaged me. Her nephew is missing. He is a heroin addict that has relapsed. She's requesting prayers. Absolutely, Kim. Let me get my notepad here. Give me a pen. Friend's son. Let me see. Kim Starlin. I've got you down, Kim. We'll definitely be praying for him. Papa, this is what we got Friday and Saturday. Yeah, I mean, it is just torrential downpours. I was on the way home from Brownstown when it hit the first time and like literally doing 15 on the highway because windshield wipers just wouldn't keep up. We're having a storm. We're having a storm, but we need the rain. I have greens, turnips, and rutabagas and dust. Yeah, we haven't had any good rain for about a week and a half. We needed a little, but man, had a crazy last week. Wanted to stop by, but God almost attacked me. Then the next day, Mini Pins got almost attacked by Pit Bull off the leash. Wow. I thought it was my connection with all the rain here and storms popping up. It might be a little bit of both, Carol. I mean, I know it's stopped raining here now, but it's still real cloudy and there's more coming. I think it's supposed to rain here until last I seen was Thursday. I think Thursday afternoon ish. So it'll be a slow week here. Hey, Farmer Son Prepping, good to see you, my friend. Big Bear Prepper, good to see you. There's no limit for prayers. The Father can handle them. Amen. 5. RSD is doing good. Tonight was her first night back to church since she had COVID and everything. She gave it a couple extra weeks just to make sure, she didn't carry anything into the church or whatnot. But she actually messaged me just a little bit ago. Said she really enjoyed herself, but she's exhausted. So she probably won't be in here tonight. But she's doing really well. Like I said, tomorrow it'll be kind of back to square one since they did not find blood clots, thank God. But now at the same time, that leaves with no answers. So back to square one, and I hope they get it figured out. But as for right now, her spirits are good, and she's been getting up and doing more. The COVID really hit her hard. And I feel her, I'm 3 full weeks out from, how you have to quarantine for 14 days. Well, I'm 3 weeks past that. And I still get tired really easy. It takes nothing to wear me out. So it stays with you. But thank you for asking, Cat Lady. She's doing well. And I'll be sure to tell her y'all asked. "38 Raging Bull, hello, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Seeing what all's going on here. The thick blood may be a side effect of that stuff. It could be. I mean, it could absolutely, because that was never a case. That's a good point, Joe. She's never had, She has had a mild stroke, but they determined that was stress induced. Like there was no blood clots, no sign of any blood clots, so it's never been an issue for her. So that's very possible. It's something that the Rona brought around to her. Thank you, Northern Girl. I will tell. I will give her a hug and thank y'all for praying for her. I appreciate it, and she appreciates it a lot. She really misses being in here. She just has a really, especially Sunday nights. If she goes to church, I think she gets home just a little after 8, about a quarter after 8, and she's usually spent. But if there's nights she can't just go straight to sleep, she'll get on here. But which I've thought about off after the sea. Hope it's temporary. Yeah, the fatigue. I know that, and I've kind of always had a cough. Um, 25 years of smoking will do that. Which I mean, I don't smoke now. You guys know that, but yeah, I've always had a no, not Mandy, Northern Girl, my mother-in-law. Sorry. I mean, that's not funny, but no, not Mandy. Roberta Owen, thank you. Good to see you. Need prayers for my husband. His kidney function is down and no appetite. I will get you down, Roberta. Sorry to hear that. I've got you down, Roberta. We'll be praying for you. Let's see. That's all right, Northern Girl. Chris Pyatt, I'm not sure if I told you hi or not. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys for all the prayers. I appreciate it. Oh, I'm sorry, Jennifer. I must have. I will go back up through here. Let's see. That's what I'm praying about. It would be great to stop. Well, must have missed it. They're telling me that if I don't get the jab, I'll have to be tested every week at my expense on my own time, and they will be taking $200 a month out of my pay for COVID medical. My goodness. Please pray for me as I received an email from my job and it looks like I won't be able to work there much longer. Mandates. I've been working there for over 8 years. These mandates are the devil. Absolutely, Jennifer. I could not agree more. I'm sorry. I've got you down, dear. Thank you guys again for all the prayers. Everyone, please pray. Please keep Patara from Appalachia Homestead in your prayers. Her husband may be being pushed out of his job. Absolutely. Patara. Let's see. Lost my place here. Hey, Alley Cats, prepared for life, or prepared life. Sorry. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Bigfoot Prepper. Howdy. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Which Bigfoot reminds me of the giveaway. And our last two will go in the mail or will be ordered tomorrow morning for Bear Wilkie and Bob Williams. I did not get around to doing it today. I've had a very busy day, and I'll try to get it done after the live stream, but if not, they will definitely be going out tomorrow morning. I wanted to tell you guys before I forgot. And after those two, they're all sent out. Everything's good. And thank you guys again for making that possible. Those in the chat, please pray for my wife's best friend and close friend of mine. Her name is Stephanie. She is battling cancer. Absolutely, Rob. Okay, I'm gonna please keep Milo on the ready and his family in your prayers. They are going through hell right now, and he did a video on it. Absolutely, John. I'm gonna mark that so I can go check out the video. Hey, Prepper Book Club, Ark Wildman Survival, Donald Campbell Jr., good to see you guys. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Oh, well, thank you, Blue Vandal. Sometimes I don't even remember the Teespring thing. Ashley, good to see you. And Faith, if you're watching, thank you. Good to see you. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead. It's 20 after. And I'll ask again for any more prayer requests a little later on. So our early birds can get off to bed. Sherry Leach, I have to go. I can't right now. Anxiety through the roof, feeling alone. I hate to hear that, Sherry. I'm going to add you to the prayer list real quick, Sherry. And you don't have to enter. I mean, if you don't feel, if you just want to listen and, I hate to see you go. But I know the anxiety thing all too well. You can be in a room full of 150 people and be the only one in there at the same time. I totally understand it. Thank you, Zane. That's sweet. I appreciate that. Sherry, I don't know if you're still on here or listening or watching, but Zane's offering if you'd like to call her, feel free. Okay. We're going to get into this. Chapter 5 in the book of Job. If you remember back last week, his friend Eliphaz is just convinced that he needs to repent, that he sinned, that God is just mad at him, and there's got to be a reason. There's got to be something there. And chapter 5 is a continuation of his rant, if you will, to Job. Hey, Mames, good to see you, darling. Thank you for being here. Did Sherry already leave? I really don't like her being. Hey, Arkansas living, good to see you, brother. I really hate the thought of her not having anybody to talk to. Sorry, guys. I'm not froze. I promise. I'm hoping somebody has a way to reach out to Sherry to make sure she's okay. Hey, Phoenix, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and start, but if those of you that know how to get a hold of Sherry or have maybe a text phone number or something, if you could get a hold of her and just talk to her for a little bit, maybe. But chapter 5, the book of Job, like I said, it's the continuation of Eliphaz's little rant to Job about, he's had to have done something. God doesn't punish people like this for no reason. And I mean, which he's right, he's absolutely right. But they don't know the backstory. They don't have they didn't have the heads up that we do by reading chapter 1 and 2 and so on. So, of course, it looks like Job has done just something terrible, and the Lord is just very angry with him. But Book of Job, chapter 5. Cry for help, but will anyone answer you? Which of the angels will help you? Surely resentment destroys the fool, and jealousy kills the simple. I have seen that fools may be successful for the moment, but then comes sudden disaster. Their children are abandoned far from help. They're crushed in court with no one to defend them. The hungry devour their harvest, even when it's guarded by brambles. The thirsty pant after their wealth, but evil does not spring from the soil, and trouble does not sprout from the earth. People are born for trouble, as readily as sparks fly up from a fire. And I did realize we read chapter 5 last week. I'm going to go ahead and read the rest of it anyway. If I were you, I would go to God and present my case to him. He does great things too marvelous to understand. He performs countless miracles. He gives rain for the earth and waters for the fields. He gives prosperity to the poor and protects those who suffer. He frustrates the plans of schemers so that the work of their hands will not succeed. He traps the wise in their own cleverness so their cunning schemes are thwarted. They find it is dark in the daytime, and they grope at noon as if it were night. He rescues the poor from the cutting words of the strong and rescues them from the clutches of the powerful. And so at last the poor have hope, and the snapping jaws of the wicked are shut. But consider the joy of those corrected by God. Do not despise the discipline of the Almighty when you sin, for though he wounds, he also bandages. He strikes, but his hands also heal. From 6 disasters he will rescue you. Even in the 7th he will keep you from evil. He will save you from death in time of famine, from the power of the sword in time of war. You will be safe from slander and have no fear when destruction comes. You will laugh at destruction and famine. Wild animals will not terrify you. You will be at peace with stones of the field, and its wild animals will be at peace with you. You will know that your home is safe. When you survey your possessions, nothing will be missing. You will have many children. Your descendants will be as plentiful as grass. You will go to the grave at a ripe old age, like a sheaf of grain harvested at the proper time. We have studied life and found all this to be true. Listen to my counsel and apply it to yourself. So see, he said nothing wrong there, nothing at all. But he just don't know the whole situation. All right, Zane, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hey, B Charming, good to see you. Don Bellman, good to see you. Appreciate y'all being here. Bear Wilkie, good to see you, man. I'm glad you made it. So I'm going to go down here to the notes of chapter 5. And it says, all three of Job's friends made the mistake of assuming Job had committed some great sin that had caused his suffering. Neither they nor Job knew of Satan's conversations with God. It is human nature to blame people for their own troubles, but Job's story makes it clear that blame cannot always be attached to those whom trouble strikes. And that's, very true. And we've always been taught that, don't judge, don't just point fingers and assume you know the situation. You don't know what goes on at home or behind closed doors, or in this situation, what's going on in the spiritual world. Thank you, B Charm, and I feel a lot better. I can actually read without it a little bit, but COVID kind of messed with my voice a little bit. It's not the same as it was. It's almost like it's a little bit deeper, and it might stay that way. It might not. I don't know. It's messed up my singing. I'll tell you that. Grab a drink here real quick. And we'll go ahead and jump right into chapter 6. This is Job's second speech, a response to Eliphaz. Then Job speaks again. If my misery could be weighed and my troubles be put in scales. You know what? I read chapter 6 last week too, didn't I? I believe I did. I'm going to go ahead and just do it again. I really think I did, but I'm going to keep better mark of where I stopped. They would outweigh all the sands of the sea. That is why I spoke impulsively. For the Almighty has struck me down with his arrows. Their poison infect my spirit. God's terrors are lined up against me. Don't I have a right to complain? Don't wild donkeys bray when they find no grass and oxen bellow when they have no food? Don't people complain about unsalted food? Does anyone want the tasteless white of an egg? My appetite disappears when I look at it. I gag at the thought of eating it. Oh, that I might have my request that God would grant my desire. I wish he would crush me. I wish he would reach out his hand and kill me. At least I can take comfort in this. Despite the pain, I have not denied the words of the Holy One. But I don't have the strength to endure. I have nothing to live for. Do I have the strength of a stone? Is my body made of bronze? No, I'm utterly helpless, without any chance of success. One should be kind to a fainting friend, but you accuse me without any fear of the Almighty. My brothers, you have proved as unreliable as a seasonal brook that overflows its banks in the spring. Just a second, guys. You're okay. Good night. I love you. Good night, Bubby. Come here. I know you're going with Mommy. Good night. Go on. Go on. Good night, sweetie. I love you.
Hey,
Yes.
can you put the green beans in the fridge? I pulled them out of the crock pot, but they're hot.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yep. I love you. Um, my brothers, you have proved as unreliable as a seasonal brook that overflows its bank in the spring, when it is swollen with ice and melting snow, but when the hot weather arrives, the water disappears and the brook vanishes in the heat. The caravans turn aside to be refreshed, but there is nothing to drink, so they die. The caravans from Tema search for this water. The travelers from Sheba hope to find it. They count on it, but are disappointed. When they arrive, their hopes are dashed. You too have given no help. You have seen my calamity, and you are afraid. But why? Have I asked you for a gift? Have I begged for anything of yours for myself? Have I asked you to rescue me from my enemies, or to save me from ruthless people? Teach me, and I will keep quiet. Show me what I have done wrong. Honest words can be painful, but what do your criticisms amount to? Do you think your words are convincing when you disregard my cry of desperation? You would even send an orphan into slavery or sell a friend. Look at me. Would I lie to your face? Stop assuming my guilt, for I have done no wrong. Do you think I am lying? Don't I know the difference between right and wrong? And that's chapter 6. Then jump down here to the notes, see what they have to say. Job's reply to Eliphaz has 3 key points. You are giving me all this advice without sympathizing with my situation. You are Your criticisms are not based on fact, but only on your own experience. You still have not answered my basic question: why am I suffering like this? Although Job could not understand why he was going through this extreme suffering, he was determined to remain true to God while seeking an answer. Let's see. Job said that Eliphaz's advice was like eating the tasteless white of an egg. When people are going through severe trials, ill-advised counsel tastes bad. They may listen politely, but inside they are probably upset. Be slow to give advice on those who are hurting. They often need compassion more than they need advice. And that's a big amen. I've been there. You just want somebody to talk to, somebody to cry to, somebody to sympathize for you. Somebody just to pat you on the back and say, you're going to get through this. You'll be all right. But all they want to do is, well, if it was me, or, I remember back when so and so did this to me. You don't want to hear that when you're hurting that bad. You want to hear it's going to be okay. I got you. I'm your ride or die. I'm with you through thick or thin. You don't want somebody just telling you what you did wrong. In his grief, Job wanted to give in, to be freed from his discomfort, and to die. But God did not grant Job's request. He had a greater plan for him. Our tendency, like Job's, is to want to give up and get out when the going gets tough. To trust God in the good times is commendable, but to trust Him during the difficult times tests us to our limits and exercises our faith. In your struggles, large or small, trust that God is in control and He will take care of you. Job referred to his own righteousness not because he was sinless, but because he had a right relationship with God. He was not guilty of the sins his friends accused him of. For his summary of the life he had led, righteousness is not the same as sinless. Job was not claiming to be sinless, free from all wrong thoughts and actions. No one but Jesus Christ has ever been sinless. Even Job needed to make some changes in his attitude towards God, as we will see by the end of the book. Nevertheless, Job was righteous and blameless, a person of integrity. He carefully obeyed God to the best of his ability in all aspects of his life. So, see, there's a very big difference between being, sinless and being righteous. And I think everybody in here knows that. Um, there's a very big difference. Without having to scroll back up and everything, has anybody happened to have gotten a hold of Sherry? Hey, Deanna, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hey, Mrs. Poppaprepper. She just calls Joe Morgan. I highly recommend the book Job, The Faith to Challenge God, a new translation and commentary by Dr. Michael Brown. That's the book I'm reading now. Dr. Brown is a a Messianic Jew. Cool. I, a Northern girl, messaged her online, but she were on Discord, but she went offline. Man, I hate that. I really hate that. And Jennifer, that reminds me, it's not really related at all, but we had talked about last Sunday the screw tape letters. And I think Flowgrown maybe told me that it was an audio book on YouTube, and I found it, and I've been listening to that every night, and it's very interesting, to listen to that. And if you haven't, I suggest you guys listen to it. It's the screw tape letters. It's Screw Tape is an uncle, and he's an advisor to his nephew named Wormwood, and he's trying to Wormwood's a new recruiter, so to speak, trying to steal souls and convert people to evil. But it's got a little bit of light, well, dark humor in it. But it's really interesting if that's the actual the way they think, and it's kind of an interesting listen. It's really neat. Hey, Tennessee Tactical, good to see you. Jennifer Cruz, oh, can you post a link? Yeah, give me just a second. I'll be right back, guys, to the book. I wanted to mention that because I had heard of the screw tape letters before, and I never really got to listen to it. It's 3 hours and 34 minutes long, so I listen to it a little bit every night when I go to bed. Let me bring it up here. Whoops, hold on. I screwed up. Go figure.
Do so out of.
All right. And the guy doing the narrating on here is John Cleese. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's like from what is his name? My mind just went completely blank. There you go, Jennifer. Papa, you looked natural in babysitting mode yesterday. We actually ended up calling her mom, and we got to keep her all night last night, and we kept her till actually her mom just got here like 8:30, almost 9 o'clock. Picked her up today. You know how it is when anxiety kicks in. Sometimes you need to take a breath and get centered before you can deal with even those with the best of it. And that's true. That's absolutely true. Papa, my friend, has turned for the worse. Need prayers. Absolutely, Deanna. I'm sorry to hear that. Dr. Michael Brown has my utmost respect. Oh, okay, I got Deanna. Let me see. Let me go back up and find. Bob Williams. I think she's your mother. Just a second, guys. I don't want to miss anybody. Okay, I have a young daughter who is mad at just because of the death of her grandpa. Everyone, please pray for her. Absolutely, Bob. And I understand that too. I've been there. I that was me. Only it was my grandma. It's hard to understand when you're in that situation, especially if you're not that I'm like, I've said it before, I'm not no biblical scholar or anything, but when when you don't understand God or the Bible or have read the Bible, it's easy. It's very easy. And even if you do know and understand, it's easy to be mad at God. But lucky for us, we have an understanding God. And He knows we're going to be mad at Him. He expects us to be mad at Him for a lot of things. But I'm pretty sure He also knows we'll wisen up and we'll come around. Hey, Big Red. Good to see you. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Sherry is in Canada, Alley Cat. I'm not sure which part she's in. I can't remember. And that's true too, Jennifer. There's a lot of people that claim to be biblical scholars that some of the stuff that comes out of their mouth, for yourself, is absolutely just dead wrong. Valerie Marchbanks, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Is a natural part of the grieving process. That's absolutely right. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get into chapter 7. I'd like to do 7 and 8. I'm most certain we have time. You own a bulldog when before you take any drink out of any open container, just make sure there's no puppy glitter in it. Him in here getting up on me. You can't see it on camera, I'm sure, but hair goes. Jesus grieves for Lazarus. Absolutely. And if I'm not wrong, I think that's the shortest verse in the Bible. Is those exact words? Jesus grieves for Lazarus. I think. Everybody be nice to my little sister from another mister. I'm guessing that's Valerie. I thought that was a new name. I'm glad to have you here. Appreciate you being here. I love seeing new people, especially on Sunday nights. Oh, it's Jesus wept. Yep, you're absolutely right, Jennifer. My bad. Mrs. Papa Prepper even knew that. I don't mean she even knew that. That sounded bad. That's not what I meant. I mean, she even corrected me. There we go. Yep, Jesus wept. Y'all got that. Oh, but see, why am I the one up here trying to read? But I'm the first to admit and tell you, yeah, I'm learning this too. So, but I'm going to go ahead and get into chapter 7. Excuse me, is not all human life a struggle? Our lives are like that of a hired hand, like a worker who longs for the shade, like a servant waiting to be paid. I too have been assigned months of futility, long and weary nights of misery. Lying in bed, I think, when will it be morning? But the night drags on, and I toss till dawn. My body is covered with maggots and scabs. My skin breaks open, oozing with pus. Job cries out to God. May days fly faster than a weaver's shuttle. They end without hope. Oh God, remember that my life is but a breath, and I will never again feel happiness. You see me now, but not for long. You will look for me, but I will be gone. Just as a cloud dissipates and vanishes, those who die will not come back. They are gone forever from their home, never to be seen again. I cannot keep from speaking. I must express my anguish. My bitter soul must complain. Am I a sea monster or a dragon that you must place me under guard? I think my bed will comfort me and sleep will ease my misery. But then you shatter me with dreams and terrify me with visions. I would rather be strangled, rather die and suffer like this. I hate my life and don't want to go on living. Oh, leave me alone for my few remaining days. What are people that you should make so much of us, that you should think of us so often? For you examine us every morning and test us every moment. Why don't you leave me alone, at least long enough for me to swallow? If I have sinned, what have I done to you, O watcher of all humanity? You make me your target? Am I a burden to you? Why not just forgive my sin and take away my guilt? For soon I will lie down in the dust and die. When you look for me, I will be gone. And that is chapter 7. Papa Prepper, you had it right. LOL, just a different translation. Okay. That is right too. I guess you're right. So, just not the exact words. That's where I was wrong. Hey, Widgets World, good to see you. Tennessee Tactical says, I think these Sunday Prep Your Soul streams are good for me. I love seeing that. I really do. That means the world to me. You're welcome, Cat Lady. We love you too. I love reading that. I like seeing that. I will go back here to the notes. Let's see. Job felt deep anguish and bitterness. He spoke honestly to God about his feelings to let out his frustration. If we express our feelings to God, we can deal with them without exploding in harsh words and actions, possibly hurting ourselves and others. The next time strong emotions threaten to overwhelm you, express them openly to God in prayer. This will help you gain an eternal perspective on the situation and give you greater ability to deal with it constructively. Job stopped talking to Eliphaz and spoke directly to God. Although Job had lived a blameless life, he was beginning to doubt the value of living in such a way. By doing this, he was coming dangerously close to suggesting that God didn't care about him and was not being fair. Later, God reproved Job for his attitude. Satan always exploits these thoughts to try to get us to forsake God. Our suffering, like Job's, may not be the result of sin, but we must be careful not to sin as a result of our suffering. And that's absolutely true. I agree with that wholeheartedly because being mad and angry, especially with God, you will be tempted to do a lot of sinful, ungodly things that it crosses your mind. Absolutely. Job referred to God as a watcher or observer of humanity. He was expressing his feelings that God seemed like an enemy to him, someone who mercilessly watched him squirm in his misery. We know that God does watch over everything that happens to us, but we must never forget that he sees us with compassion, not merely with critical scrutiny. I his eyes are eyes of love. That's hard to say. Let's see. There is nothing worse than watching your child suffer. God's heart must have been aching. Absolutely. Papa, you have a very calming voice when you read a passage. I find it very comforting. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's a great Bible you have there at Papa Prepper. Thank you, Jennifer. I love this Bible. A lot of you know or remember Mame's Legacy sent me this Bible, and I absolutely love it. It helps so much to get a deeper understanding for a lot of things. God is big enough to handle our anger, even when we're mad at Him. He knows we'll get to the point where we are angry with Him rather than at Him. Hey, comrade, good to see you, man. Thank you for being here. Okay, so I'm just going to go right into chapter 8. This is Bildad's first response to Job. And I hope I say it right when I say Shuhite. I can't remember. Or Shuhite. My bad. Shuhite. Then Bildad the Shuhite replied to Job, "How long will you go on like this? You sound like a blustering wind. Does God twist justice? Does the Almighty twist what is right? Your children must have sinned against him, so their punishment was well deserved. But if you pray for God and seek the favor of the Almighty, and if you are pure and live with integrity, he will surely rise up and restore your happy home. And though you started with little, you will end with much. Just ask the previous generation. Pay attention to the experience of our ancestors. For we were born but yesterday and know nothing. Our days on earth are as fleeting as a shadow. But those who came before us will teach you. They will teach you the wisdom of old. Can papyrus reeds grow tall without marsh? Can marsh grass flourish without water? While they are still flowering, not ready to be cut, they begin to wither more quickly than grass. The same happens to all who forget God. The hopes of the godliness, the hopes of the godless evaporate. Their confidence hangs by a thread. They are leaning on a spider's web. They cling to their home for security, but it won't last. They try to hold it tight, but it will not endure. The godless seem like a lush plant growing in the sunshine, its branches spreading across the garden. Its roots grow down through a pile of stones. It takes hold on a bed of rocks. But when it's uprooted, it's as though it never existed. That's the end of its life, and others spring up from the earth to replace it. But look, God will not reject a person of integrity, nor will he lend a hand to the wicked. He will once again fill your mouth with laughter and your lips with shouts of joy. Those who hate you will be clothed with shame, and the home of the wicked will be destroyed. That's chapter 8. Bildad was upset that Job still claimed innocence while questioning God's justice. The basis of Bildad's argument, the justice of God, was sound, but his idea of God's justice was not. Bildad's argument went like this: God could not be unjust, and God would not punish a just man. Therefore, Job must be unjust. Bildad felt there were no exceptions to his theory. Like Eliphaz, Bildad wrongly assumed that people suffer only as a result of their sins, and Bildad was even less sensitive and compassionate, stating that Job's children had died because of their wickedness. Bildad wrongly assumed that Job was trusting in something other than God for security, so he pointed out that such supports are fragile and are sure to collapse. One of the basic needs that people have is security, and many will do almost anything to feel secure. Eventually, however, our money, possessions, knowledge, and relationships will fail or be gone. Only God can give lasting security. What have you trusted for your security? How lasting is it? If you have a secure foundation with God, feelings of insecurity will not undermine you. See over here. And I know that it's the Spirit of the Lord. There are sweet expressions on each face, and I know that it's the presence of the Lord. Arkansas living, tell Pickle we all said hi, or all said hey. Papa, reach up to 9, please. I'm gonna go ahead and do 9, Rob. Absolutely, we've got plenty of time. Absolutely, plenty of time. Book of Job proves that all your friends, in quotation marks, or those around you, even those who say they are strong believers, will still have something to say about you, but the Lord always has the final say. Amen. That's absolutely right. And just as well as the next person, you can, just like Job. I mean, you're exactly right. You can live the perfect, well, not perfect, but as straight and narrow as humanly possible, and live the most righteous life that you can. And there's going to be people that, are going to do their best to drag you down. They're going to do anything they can. And that's just the plain old fashioned work of the devil. Anything that tries to take you away from God is of evil. Grab me a drink and jump into chapter 9. And no matter how well your friends know you, God knows you better. Absolutely. I can't forget God. He bugs me with love. Absolutely, man. I do my best, man. I just don't feel anything inside but numbness and anger because I'm tired of having things taken by those who have no right. I understand that, Joe. Joe, I mean, I'm not trying to put you on the spot or, make an oh moment because that's not what I'm doing. But anybody in here that has actually taken the time to talk to you and get to know you and know how much you go out of your way to help absolutely anyone you can knows you have a good heart, man. Everybody in here that knows you on any kind of personal level knows you have a good heart. You're a very good man. Good luck, Jennifer. He will not get on camera, I promise. He won't even go with just a voice. I've tried. But I know you got a lot of people in here pray for you, brother, and it'll come through one day. I absolutely believe that, man. Because, like I said, I know that it's not that you don't believe. It's not that you don't want to believe. I believe that too. I just, I understand. Trust me. I was in the same place, man. So I know. But, I don't hound you about it, and I never will. You can't do that to somebody. You can't. That just turns them farther and farther away from it. But just you being here every Sunday, and that, I'll just leave it at that. And I'm going to jump into. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. If you were talking to me, meaning you're not comfortable. Well, I'm moving on. Chapter 9, Job's third speech, a response to Bildad. Then Job spoke again. Yes, I know all this is true in principle, but how can a person be declared innocent in God's sight if someone wanted to take God to court? Would it be possible to answer him even once in 1,000 times? For God is so wise and so mighty, who has ever challenged him successfully? Without warning, he moves the mountains, overturning them in his anger. He shakes the earth from its place, and its foundations tremble. If he commands it, the sun won't rise, and the stars won't shine. He alone has spread out the heavens and marches on the waves of the sea. He made all the stars, the Bear, the Orion, the Pleiades, and the constellations of the southern sky. He does great things too marvelous to understand. He performs countless miracles. Yet, when he comes near, I cannot see him. When he moves by, I do not see him go. If he snatches someone in death, who can stop him? Who dares to ask, "What are you doing?" And God does not restrain his anger. Even the monsters of the sea are crushed beneath his feet. So who am I, that I should try to answer God or even reason with him? If I were right, I would have no defense. I can only plead for mercy. And even if I summoned him and he responded, I'm not sure he would listen to me, for he attacks me with a storm and repeatedly wounds me without cause. He would not let me catch my breath, but he fills me instead with bitter sorrow. If it's a question of strength, he's the strong one. If it's a matter of justice, who dares to summon him to court? Though I am innocent, my own mouth would pronounce me guilty. Though I am blameless, it would prove me wicked. I am innocent, but it makes no difference to me. I despise my life. Innocent or wicked, it is all the same to God. That's why I say he destroys both the blameless and the wicked. When a plague sweeps through, he laughs at the death of the innocent. The whole earth is in his hands. The whole earth is in the hands of the wicked, and God blinds the eye of the judges. He is not the one who does it. If he's not the one who does it, who is? My life passes more swiftly than a runner. It flees away without a glimpse of happiness. It disappears like a swift papyrus boat, like an eagle swooping down on its prey. If I decide to forget my complaints, to put away my sad face and be cheerful, I would still dread all the pain. For I know you will not find me innocent, O God. Whatever happens, I will be found guilty. So what's the use of trying? Even if I were to wash myself with soap and clean my hands with lye, you would plunge me into a muddy ditch, and my own filthy clothing would hate me. God is not a mortal like me, so I cannot argue with him or take him to trial. If only there were a mediator between us, someone who could bring us together. The mediator could make God stop beating me, and I would no longer live in terror of his punishment. Then I could speak to him without fear, but I cannot do that in my own strength. And that's chapter 9. We'll jump down here to the notes. Bildad said something new to Job. Job knew that the wicked ultimately perish, but his situation confused him. Why then was he perishing? Job didn't think his life warranted such suffering, so he wanted his case presented before God. He recognized, however, that arguing with God would be futile and unproductive. Job didn't claim to be perfect, but he did claim to be good and faithful. While Job showed impatience toward God, he did not reject or curse God. Though I am innocent in my own mouth would pronounce me, even though I am innocent, my own mouth would pronounce me guilty, was Job saying. In spite of my good life, God is determined to condemn me. As his suffering continued, he became more impatient. Although Job remained loyal to God, he made statements he would later regret. In times of extended sickness or prolonged pain, it is natural for people to despair or to become impatient. During those times, people who are suffering need someone to listen to them and to help them work through their feelings and frustrations. Reach out and visit those who are in desperate situations. Your patience with their impatience will help them. And that's absolutely right. If somebody's suffering and hurting, and that's what they need, patience. They need kind words. They need reassurance. Not judgment, not well, we know you did this. No, you really don't know anything. You just don't know. You never know what's going on. You've heard the expression behind what goes on behind closed doors. Not that there necessarily has to be a door. You just don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And if somebody's suffering and needs help, you should offer help, not judgment or, not maybe not necessarily I mean, that is judgment, but offer them just your shoulder, your time. You don't even have to. I mean, just be there for them. You mean we shouldn't shame them into compliance? Sorry, I needed to laugh. Man, you're exactly right. I mean, that's going on right now worldwide. I mean, absolutely. We're becoming the shunned. You know, Anybody who's not complying and taking their, go-go juice or whatever, and you know, it's happening everywhere. Cruise back up here for a minute and see if anybody else has snuck in on me or Joe Morgan, you're being pulled by the Father. Accept it, brother. Look at your work in life. You're a warrior of good. Joe Morgan is my favorite stinker toot. I like that. the falling isn't the hard part. It's the kicking you when you're down that hurts. Absolutely. Hey, Richard Christopher, good to see you, man. Ruben, good to see you. Not sure if I told you hi yet or not. I argue sometimes with God, but He sets me straight. Yep. And I know we're all guilty. Even when you got that little, you know, yeah, that little what we consider nagging voice, you shouldn't do this, or, you should do this, you really should do that. And then ultimately, we don't listen to that little voice, and we end up thinking, man, I should have listened. Man, I should have, because it's a very good possibility that's God, you know. Bob William, my hubby is trying to stop chewing. Please pray for him. He is struggling. Absolutely, that's a struggle. See, I used the little skull pouches to get off cigarettes. And then I got addicted to skull, or went not skull. That's not important, I guess. Longhorn. That's what I was. Longhorn. And then I started using these, which yes, they're nicotine, but that's all that's in them. I mean, there's no, nasty tar and all that. It's which I need to get these up to, but it's better than the tobacco. Not that there's any good thing to put in your body, but it is just nicotine. And now I'm addicted to them. But like I said, it's that or tobacco. At least I'm just getting a nicotine fix and I'm not turning my lungs black or my gums rotting out. And. But absolutely, we will pray for him on that because that is a hard struggle. I know this is totally not related. I mean, it kind of is to the tobacco, but Mandy told me, I think the beginning of November, or it might not even be that long, cigarettes and chew is going up another $2 a pack here within the next 30 days. Two more. A pack of Marlboro here is already over $7. I mean, and that's in town, like state minimum price, $7 and some change. So a pack of Marlboro Reds is going to be with tax almost $10 a pack. That is, I mean, wow. I can remember when a pack of Marlboro Red was like $1.50, $1.75. And not saying that, I hope that'll help people quit. And if not, they're just selfish. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because that has always, I shouldn't be like that. I shouldn't. But it really burns me up when you see somebody pull up like at Mandy's gas station. Nice car. Nice. Nicer than anything I've ever drove. Will go in with an EBT card, which is food stamps, buy energy drinks, candy bars, Polar Pops, all that stuff, and then spend $100 and buy a carton of cigarettes. You know, and I've always said there's people out there that truly need that stuff. I get it. There's people on hard times. A lot of us in here is not much above that. But if you're getting assistance like that and you can still afford like Marlboro cigarettes, there's something wrong with that. It's kind of one of those things that, you know. Hey, Shorty. Good to see you. I haven't seen you around much. I've been hearing a lot. Prepared for. Good to see you. I've been hearing a lot of people say over the last couple of days that things are about to get worse financially. I hope that's not true. I wish I could tell you it's not true, but I'm kind of right there. I mean, I'm seeing, like I just said, cigarettes and stuff's going up, which, it is what it is. Can you live without nicotine and tobacco? Yes. Do you want to? No. I mean, I'll be straight up. With what's coming at us, and time getting harder and harder, your nerves get worse and worse, and you know, I mean, tobacco is hard to give up. Very hard to give up. Oh, so glad Mr. B quit before we started dating. He could not afford to have tobacco. Careful, names, you're gonna tell your age. 55 cents a pack. If I could find them 55 cents a pack now, I'd be rich, because you best believe I'd be selling them dudes. My dad and I smoke Camels because it's the one thing we do that's special. He likes them. It's one thing he can have, so we get them. Absolutely, man. I understand that. That's one thing that I never agreed with. I've worked in group homes, I've worked in assisted living. There'll be 75, 80-year-old people, smoked like a freight train, still do. They'll go to the doctor. Well, we're gonna have to get you off cigarettes. That's like one of the last enjoyments they have. I mean, if they're like 80, 85 years old and they've smoked like a freight, leave them alone. They're already had, very low quality of life, and just let them do their thing. You know what I mean? And that might just be my weird way of thinking, but bless their hearts. They've been institutionalized their entire life. For the most part, the people that I take care of or took care of. When it comes down to it, and they're that high up in their years, just leave them alone. Hey, Papa, sorry I've been MIA. Been busy working on a few projects at home and taking care of my 3-month-old nephew. Well, ain't nothing to be sorry about. You're getting stuff done. That's that's what I've been trying to do. I mean, I'm slacking on my videos, and I'm trying to get new content together and figure out in what order I'm going to do stuff and everything. But I've been slacking. But it'll fall together. Beverly Baksha, welcome. It's the first time I've ever seen that name. Glad to see you. Folks without their nicotine, dangerous. Also caffeine, my vice. And can you imagine if they can't afford their prescribed meds? Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm a bear. If I don't, I mean, I'll straight up admit I'm a bear if I don't have my nicotine. I mean, that's just the way it is. I keep it in mind, and I can tell when I'm getting, but Tommy without nicotine, he's a bear. Where is Jeep Girl? I was wondering the same thing. I haven't seen her. Homeopathic remedy to help with cravings is lobelia. Good to have in SHTF situations. Well, thank you, J Squared. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Basics were $1.20 when I was in. Hey, plumber, see, man. Basics were $1.20 when I was in high school. Last time I bought a pack of basic lights was $6.57. That's absolutely right, man. I remember when basics were like the generic type of cigarettes. And then I smoked. What did I go to? Not not really around the time of basics, but a few years later, I started smoking GT1s. A lot of people called them G-tones, and they were actually a good cigarette, and they were like dirt cheap. They don't even make them now. Hey, Mrs. Prep and Plumber, good to see you. I appreciate you guys being in here tonight. Glad to see you guys are still kicking. Papa Prepper, there's too much control over others' lives, and it needs to stop. If people want to do stuff that they want, they have the right. People forget there is personal choice. That's exactly what I'm saying, man. You know, and there's one guy that comes to mind that I used to take care of, and this guy, bless his heart, I mean, he was a product of his environment. He, I mean, he's sharp as a tack. He just grew up, he was, last time I seen him, I believe he was right at 80, 81. He grew up taking care of his brother and sisters, had no kind of education. He couldn't read, couldn't write, anything like that. But he loved smoking cigarettes or smoking a pipe. He was happy doing either one. And the last time I seen him, I was trying to take it all from him. And it's like, man, just leave the man alone. That's all he's got. Yeah, he chews almost 3 cans. Wow, I was never that deep into it. One can of those tobacco pouches, one can would last me almost about 2.5 days. So my brother chews the nicotine gum like 2 packs a day. I said, "You do know you're only supposed to chew one every 12 hours. Well, if he can smoke or chew 2 packs of them a day, that's cheaper or more expensive than smoking." I mean, if he was quitting to save money, there could be, if he's quitting for his health, absolutely. But you know what I mean. All right, Rob, we love you too, man. Thank you for being here. God bless you and yours, and stay safe out there, man. Can you buy cheap or cigarettes cheap on a reserve or reservation? I don't know. I've heard that cigarettes and stuff like that's cheaper on a reservation, but I'm not really sure. I'd say maybe like Native and Devout because I know there's reservations down there, um, or even Five Virgins there could maybe answer that, but I'm not sure to be honest with you. Richard Christopher, usually yes. I always try to run to Upper Peninsula of Michigan's for no tax. Well, there you go. Prep and plumber. Papa had to stop in. I've been working 50 plus hours a week, and the old lady is now a housewife. So I'll be glad. I'll be going to bed in a few. Hope y'all are doing well. Man, we are doing well. We're making it, man. Sorry to hear you're working that much, but I'm glad to hear that Mrs. Prep and Plumber is a housewife now. That's if it was a choice. I mean, there's a lot of that going around too. That it wasn't a choice. But I'm definitely very glad you guys stopped by tonight. That made my night. Papa is a slacker. He's been slacking. He's been slacking on YouTube, but he's been putting in work around here trying to get stuff winterized. Hey, 300 Warriors, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Now, see, I've heard that vaping is worse than smoking. Like it can cause pneumonia and all kinds of things. I mean, that's just what I've read and heard. I personally don't know. I tried a vape pen maybe 3 or 4 times, and I just every time it's a different flavor, and I just didn't care for it. It actually choked me up worse than any cigarette ever did. Well, thank you very much, Tennessee. I appreciate that, man. I prefer the term homemaker. Housewife always made it sound like I'm married to the house. Of course, making sure he has a hot supper and a cold drink made when he comes home. Men deserve to be spoiled. Sometimes. um, I get a fair amount of spoiling around here. More than I deserve, probably. Papa, when I worked in hospitals, I would take people out to smoke that had tracheotomy. They would put the cig in the hole. Oh, that's weird. I've never seen that. I mean, I can imagine. I've got a friend that has a trach and he smokes, but I've never seen him do that. I got 33 acres of land, going to fill it up with people to make a community. Absolutely. That would be amazing. Me and Mandy's talked about that, and I just don't anyway see it financially possible right now. And definitely not going to go in debt right now any farther than we already are. But that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to do a tiny house community, just bare minimal, just basically make our own compound. But I saw in the news a guy vaped a lot, bacon flavored, and bacon grease built up in his lungs. I wonder if that's true. I don't know. I'd never heard that, but anything's possible. Mames, I noticed that when I quit smoking, that a lot of the habit just comes from having that cigarette in and having something to do. You're absolutely right. BZ3877. Good to see you. Welcome. Hey, Papa, I quit smoking cold turkey in June of 2020, and I'm still smoke free 16 months later. The Bible was my replacement to relax with, especially in a year like 2020. Blessings to you. Amen, man. That's awesome to hear. Congratulations. Mandy, my wife, it's been, probably 10 years ago. She was on the way to the ER. She had a bad gallbladder, and it was finally, time. She was done suffering. She's like me, trying to get her to go to the hospital. But she smoked half of a Camel Light on the way to the hospital, and that night she quit. Never touched another cigarette after that. Just straight up cold turkey. Went in for emergency gallbladder surgery. I about lost her. She almost waited too long. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, she smoked half a cigarette that night on the way to the hospital. Never picked up one after that. I just, and hats off to you for being able, I can't do that. I've tried. I'll get about 3 days into it, and oh, it'll definitely take teamwork. Absolutely. And that's one of the hardest parts. I mean, for us around here is trying to find that many like-minded families, or friends that would actually commit to something like that. They set a date for the jab. She put in her notice. I went back to construction. No mandates there. She can play housewife before someone makes her take a jab. Just saying. Absolutely, prepping plumber. Absolutely. Proudly unpoisoned. Bless your heart, Mrs. Prepping Plumber. I'm proud of you guys. Standing your ground. All right, Carrie. Thank you for being here as always. We love you and God bless you and yours and stay safe. I live in the Bible Belt where cannabis will never be legal. I'd like to see it legal just because it's got so many medicinal purposes that people that could really benefit from it can't get it or can't afford to get it, whether it be not having insurance or, whatever the case may be. Um, it's got so many purposes. I have a friend or had a friend, his mom, back when I was 14, 15, she was given roughly about a year to live. She was ate up with cancer. She's still alive. She's a pothead. Major pothead. She's still alive and cancer free. Just saying. A lot of prayers too. Don't get me wrong, but and they know that, and that's why I think they keep such a tight rein on cannabis. Wait a minute. What happened here? Well, if you don't got nowhere to go and have nothing to eat, don't knock at my door then. What happened there? I think I missed something. My freedom will not be taken, come hell or high water. I worked my butt off at my job, was there 5 years as a director, but they want to force me to get the vax or be fired. No thanks, I'll leave on my own. Absolutely. Nothing but. You're very welcome, Alley Cat. Thank you for being here. God bless you and yours, and be safe. I just like people to be free and stop all this jab foolishness. You're absolutely right, Joe. And they finally got a lot of people, not necessarily us, but you know what I mean. They got a lot of people where they want them. And if people would have just, woke up sooner and seen or believed, that's what I should say. If people would have believed what they were told that was coming and been more ready, there'd be a lot less people just bending over and taking the jab because that's what it all's boiling down. I know there's a lot of hard calls to make. If I was, say, just an example. I mean, even being 42, if I had 3 or 4 little ones running around and, Mandy couldn't work, I was the sole provider, and, I had all of that riding, it'd still be a hard call, but that would be a totally different situation, you know. But our kid's grown. We're both grown. We don't have a lot, but I'm not, we're not risking the side effects or anything else that comes along with possibly taking that. It's just the risks don't outweigh the benefits at this point in life. I guess is what I'm saying. If they would make it legal, I could be off my meds completely. I'm all for it being legalized. Can't partake until legal. Got to pass them whiz quizzes at work. Absolutely. Put your seatbelt on. It's going to get worse, right? Legal here now and can grow 4 plants per household. That's awesome, Marine. My thought is Arkansas, Ozarks from Texas. So many illegals coming in. Absolutely. I seen earlier where they're coming up with some kind of proposal for taxpayers to willingly help support the refugees. No. Mm-mm. Will never happen. Best advice: keep prepping, keep stocking. We're all going to need it. Just canned 20 pounds of ground beef tonight. That's awesome, dude. Oh, diabetic? Hey, man, good to see you. Let's see. My husband quit 13 years ago and weighed 500 pounds. Now he's working on losing the weight. Will God love him? I'll be praying for him on that because that's a hard road, too. That's harder than the cigarettes. 300 warriors. It wasn't too long ago, man. I was around 460. Glory to God. I've lost almost 100 pounds and I'm managing to keep it off. I've kind of stalled out right now. I'm stuck, but I don't know if I need to change it up or what's going on, but I'll get back on course. As long as I'm not gaining it back, I'm cool with that. But, well, buddy, I got to head on out of here. Really good job done. Well, thank you very much, Barry. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here, man. We love you guys. God bless you and yours, and be safe out there, man. Good night, everyone. Good night, Alley Cat. Thank you for being here. God bless you and yours, and stay safe out there. Good vibes tonight. No fear porn. Papa Prepper is laying down the spiritual warfare. Well, thank you, Tennessee. I appreciate that, man. Sunday nights, I really, really, as hard as it is some days, I really try to stay away from the negativity on Sundays. Because, man, we all need a break. Yeah, 300, It's rough, but it's well worth it. Man, I feel so much better. I can't imagine. Papa Prepper, the video I sent you was not meant as a diabetic nag, by the way. If you're talking about Discord, I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, Mames. We've been chasing that 8-month-old all day, taking turns while we've been deep cleaning. Okay, and anybody that truly deep cleans knows you got to make a mess to clean up a mess. We're trying to get our extra bedroom, get the house RSD friendly, and get our extra bedroom situated because it's looking like she might possibly be moving in with us sooner than later. Excuse me. And our house is a complete chaos zone right now. It's but anyway. I hadn't got a chance to watch the video yet. That's where I was going with that. Praying God will open the door for me to either work from home or to be able to be a homemaker and just care for my family. I've been praying the same thing, Jennifer. But see, I think they'll mandate, like the mandate will come around to me before it does Mandy, but I don't think Mandy will be very far behind. Because, I mean, we all know Circle K is a big corporation. So, I mean, I don't see them having any loopholes to jump through. And there's so many people not even acknowledging the religious exemption anymore. They're not even, you know, I mean, you can turn it in, but so many people are just walking around that or right over it. So I'm hoping, because all of our vehicles are paid for. What we drive, we own. The only thing we owe on is our house. And I mean, like all extras will be cut out, but we can make it if I had to, and I'm not above it. I'll stay, if it comes to that, I'll stay home, keep the house clean, hot meals when they get home, stuff like that. We've already talked about it. I'm not above it. Would I like it? No. That's just the male in me, I guess. I've never been the guy to not work. I've never been the guy to not have a job. I can't stand it when I just can't. I hate just the thought of sitting around and not contributing. But, but in the ways of, growing our own food and the chickens and hunting and stuff like that, I mean, I'll still have plenty to do. It's just, I'll be contributing, just no income. You know what I mean? And that's hard on me. I don't do well with that thought. I missed something. Go figure. China, 2/3 have power shortage. I'll be right back to that 300. My hubby said YouTube stole his wife, so I'm going to jump off here and give him my undivided attention. All right, Bob, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. God bless you and yours, and stay safe out there. Let's see. Anyone else having trouble keeping their computer desk clutter free? Almost lost call. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely, man. I feel you. Uh-oh. There's no such thing as clutter free here, buddy. Tommy, you seemed bothered, brother. Just remember, lights are on, Wi-Fi working, stores still have food. One day at a time. Just keep doing the things. Oh, I absolutely am, man. As much as I can do, as often as I can. That's all any of us can do. And of course, if we would all just listen to 5 and eat more rabbit, this world would be like, hey, Tiger 454, I am glad you're here. I apologize. I do not have any idea how you got blocked on this channel. I just found it last night and I asked everybody if they seen you to let you know that you're no longer blocked. I don't know how it happened. Um, Also, if anybody sees Mojo Man 1965, let him know that he's not blocked in here anymore. I have no idea how that happened. And I felt terrible about it. I'm waiting for the jab to come to my office and it will. I'll walk and start detailing cars again. If that doesn't work, I'll start commercial fishing. Hey, man, I seen a news article, diabetic, about Louisiana. They're putting a spousal clause on their insurance down there that even if you're vaxxed and your spouse isn't, they're going to tax 200 extra dollars to the insurance until said spouse is vaccinated. That is absolute crap. I'll tell you what, it'd almost be worth, if it comes to stuff like that, you ain't going nowhere. Get divorced. Why not? They jump through loopholes, beat them to the punch. Now, I'm not suggesting you get divorced. That was kind of more sarcasm than anything, but you know, we've known people that's done it. People that just couldn't make ends meet, and they get divorced. Well, then she could get, EBT and Medicaid and stuff like that to where they couldn't get when they was married. Just a way to buck the system. I have to get my dad up for a smoke. I'll be back after. Remember, check the inbox. Tell me what you think of it. Absolutely, brother. Hey, Coral, good to see you. No such thing as clutter free here. A 13-year-old, a 4-year-old, a man, and two 90-pound dogs. Man 5, I wish I could find me a good old pickup truck. Something with no computers in it. Something just, I'd love to find just an old, I don't know, mid-80s Chevy square body, something like that. I'd love to have an old pickup. I hear you, diabetic prepper. It's hard. You start talking about that, and it was hard on the folks that I'm talking about. They a little bit of it caused some issues at first. I mean, they're all good now, but it caused them a few problems just knowing that they weren't legally married anymore. Like Zane just said, I know so many seniors getting divorced just to get more benefits, but are staying together. I see it daily. Absolutely. I mean, the system wants to try to stick it to us. You got to stick it right back where you can, I suppose. I'm not saying I don't think I do well with it. I really don't. Um, I know people say it's just a piece of paper and this and that, but it means more than that. Heading to bed. Have a great night, everyone. Don't forget to pray without ceasing. Papa Prepper and Trimmer. All right, Jennifer, we love you. Thank you for being here. God bless you and yours, and be safe out there. Tommy, twins' parents haven't married yet because of that. Now, see, in that case, I'd tell them to just stay that way. I mean, I see so many more benefits that are attainable being single, especially with children. All right, Mrs. Prep and Plumber, we love y'all. Be careful, be safe, and God bless you and yours. Names, I think I've told Mandy something like that. Like, it's not clutter. I'm eclectic. That's what I always blame it on. I love collecting so many different things, and I do. I am sort of a pack rat, but I've talked about that before. I pack in stuff that I can see being repurposed into something else. Not necessarily like artsy repurposing, like lumber and stuff. I never pass up free lumber. Never. Well, the first time I tell my wife, you can't tell me what to do, you're not my wife, I'd be gone. LOL. Absolutely. See, and that's the silly things that would just lead to bad situations. Smart tech and vehicles. Exactly. That's why I want an old, mid 80s something. And it don't have to be a Chevy, preferably, but just some kind of old, reliable 4-wheel drive pickup that I could just leave in the driveway, keep it maintained just for when I need it. And, say we do have that big EMP or whatever, I'd still have a vehicle. I seen the 89 F-150 XLT single cab 4x4 on Craigslist. They wanted 5,000. OMG. Used non-computer vehicles are way overpriced. It's like they know what they got, man. Good night, y'all. Good night, Plumber. We love you guys. Thank you for being here, man. Mary Max Katz, good to see you. Thank you for being here. My disability income is penalized because of husband's income, thanks to Joe Biden increasing taxes on disability over the years. Well, congratulations, prepared for. Got engaged in May and can't wait to be married. James Davis, good to see you, brother. Glad you made it, man. I found an all original 48 Studebaker pickup that had been barn kept. I didn't dare ask the price. Yeah, you'd have probably fell over. I'm telling you what, man, and what I don't get, well, it's the people that just have too much money and not enough sense. They just, they don't care the situation of the world or of the country. But you still see people dropping $50,000, $60,000 on restored, old muscle cars and stuff. Which, don't get me wrong, if I could get my hands on a the '69 Dodge Charger, black on black, man, I'd be all over it. But not right now. It's just, it seems like people just, the ones that just truly has no idea what's going on or just have enough money to not care. I want a 65 Mustang. Ugh, what for? Just kidding, Loretta. But I've never liked Mustangs. The only Mustang I ever liked, my buddy had I believe it was like a 94, 95. I think they're called Fox bodies. And that car was absolute nothing but muscle. I mean, it was fun to drive. But I've never been a Mustang guy. Oh, absolutely diabetic. I would love to have a 59 Cadillac. Drop top, black. Ugh. I need a big old car like that. All right. Thank you for being here, Chris. I appreciate it. God bless you and yours. We love you. And be safe. See, Loretta, I knew there was something off about you. If you see Kat, True American, please know her. She's in my prayer. She was in here earlier, James. Doing as well as can be expected. My uncle and his wife got divorced in his final years he could get medical help. They couldn't afford it together to get more benefits if they're not married. And it's so sad that we're living in those kind of times. First time on your live chat and enjoying this great group of like-minded folks. Chevy 2 Nova. Now see, that's my kind of girl right there. Chevy Nova. And I'm glad you're here, Beverly. We're glad to have you. Welcome. We get together Thursday and Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 9 p.m. on Sundays. And Sundays we try to keep it light and just fellowship, spread the word, read the word, and we do prayer requests and praise reports. And we try to stay away from the gloom and doom that we know is reality just for a couple hours every Sunday night. Diabetic prepper, she where to start? The other day she was parked in front of the cell phone store. Somebody knocked the window out of her car, stole her purse and her son's medicine. Her uncle passed away, had a blood clot go to his heart. I believe that was Wednesday. I can't remember, guys. But just she could use some prayers. She's having it rough. Now, see, a Mach 1, to me, it'd be fun to drive. I've never liked the looks of Mustangs. I don't know. Yeah, I like the old Broncos, Torinos. It's not like I'm anti-Ford or nothing. Mustangs, I just never got into them. Same way with Corvettes. And I'm a die-hard Chevy guy, I've never cared for Corvettes. An old El Camino, that'd be cool. Me and Mandy's talked about that. We both like those. And this was pre-Rona and the world losing its mind. We had talked about finding one to try to restore it, but that's probably a pipe dream, at least for a while. Hey, Waterwell Guy 99, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. You can tell I'm a kid of the 80s. All right. Because my absolute hands down, there's not many body parts. You've heard people say I'd give up my left, to do that or whatever. I'd probably do that for a 79 Trans Am. I am a Smokey and the Bandit fool. I love Trans Ams. I always have. Ever since I was a little bitty feller, I've owned one when I was young and stupid, so I lost one. And it wasn't nothing but bad. And I want one again. But if I could have any car, it'd be a 79 Trans Am. They don't have to look like the Bandit. I just love that body style. Oh, I bet Tennessee. Oh man, I love Trans Ams. I'm working on a 72 Bronco. It's my first vehicle. I'm putting a diesel in it, so it'll be cool and ready for. That's awesome. Rolls Royce, those are cool. I can't see myself in one because I'm more of either a 4-wheel drive or muscle car. Rolls Royce is just clout. I mean, that's you've made it a big time. You're rolling around in a Rolls Royce. My ex had a '68 Malibu convertible restored except for the seats. It was in my name. I sold it for $200. I wish I knew you then, Mames. I'd have gave you 300. Old school Rolls Royce. The great big old 20-foot long beast Corella DeVille Rolls Royce. Independent Mini United. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Oh, it's after 11 o'clock, y'all. Chuck Brett, good to see you. 57 Chevy. Absolutely. I'd like to have, I've got a thing for 59 maybe. Because I want a 59 Cadillac. I'd love to have a 59 Impala. The 57 Chevy. I love the wings. I love the cars with the big wings. Even the big old Lincoln they used to make the original Batmobile out of. I mean, it's even hot. All right, Joe. That's cool, man. I'm getting ready to shut this down. I didn't realize it was after 11. I need to get to bed myself. Got to work in the morning. But thank you guys for being here tonight. Great live stream. Felt really good. I'm hoping to have some of the new stuff rolling out this week. I'm going to work on my, I'm going to get the name changed on the channel. Like I said earlier, before, just kind of fly a little lower under the radar for as long as we can. And be working on some new content about the, knowledge, learning how to do stuff. Been a lot going on around here. But hopefully it's going to slow down a little bit. Like I said, we're trying to get the house somewhat handicap ready. So, because we're kind of in fear, not in fear. Let me rephrase that. I think it's only a matter of time, like we've talked before, that they're going to come gunning for Medicaid too. No jab. Which, either way, that will all but force RSD to take it. She won't have a choice, guys. If you guys could pray for her on that, I'd appreciate it, because she is in so much pain daily. RSD, that is the actual diagnosis that she has. It's a form of muscular dystrophy, autoimmune disorder. It's really bad. It's very painful. She has a morphine pump internally she has to have filled once a month. And she takes pain pills every day just to bear with it, or bear, So if she was to lose Medicaid, there goes all her pain relief. And it wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be pretty at all. So if that comes around, she's going to be forced to take it. And we're just trying to get the house ready because, along with other things, if they force me out of work, she won't have staff. She'll have nobody to take care of her. I mean, I'd still go take care of her. That's not what I'm saying. But, it would, at that point, if, not to sound like a bad person, but if I'm not getting paid to take care of her, it only makes sense to just move her in here, which we've talked about it before anyway. But now everything's getting so uncertain, and I think it's time to start combining resources. That's another thing, we've all talked about. So, long story short, I'm trying to do all that and get videos and stuff. So, bear with me, guys. I'll have my life straightened out sooner or later. But thank you guys for being here. I love our Sunday nights together. I love it. By far my favorite night of the week, my favorite show. So, until next time, guys, God bless y'all. I love each and every one of you guys. Take care of yourselves and each other, and try to learn something. Papa Prepper out.